This is, as it says, about how we can adjust dentures before we remake them digitally. So these are the materials required. Just pause it and have a little look, and I'll go through them as I'll go through them. Right, but you can do relines if you've had training as a dental nurse, and that's traditional relines with the silicone wash. It might well be that you'll be able to do a digital reline if you haven't done the course. And obviously this is where I'm going to get into trouble, but basically you can do it on the software. How well this is going to work, well, it'll probably be pretty poor at the moment, but you know in about 5 years' time it may well be the norm. They'll figure out ways how to do it. So anyway, next one. So if you're doing a conventional reline, so you'd all be familiar with this. You don't always need an adhesive, but it's probably better if you do. So you dry the denture and then you do it in 2 stages. Try and get some border moulding by using the heavy-bodied silicone on the borders of the denture, and then you mould it around a soft tissue. When it's set, which normally takes a couple of minutes, you then take it out, dry it, then put the light-bodied in the sulcus and or the palate, and then you take the reline impression. One of the things you find in a care home is that if someone's on a soft diet, you best not do that, because the gagging reflex and it could end up a bit messy. But that's basically what you do. Then you scan the denture with the reline impression in it. You may have to remove some of the excess, or you will have to remove some of the excess on the polished surface, and you can do that with the blade, and they can be tidied up digitally as well. So it's just getting a balance between what you can do physically and what you can do digitally. And then of course, when you've scanned the denture, you remove the impression material, as you can see there, and give them their denture back. So ultimately then the new 3D denture will arrive, and they'll have a spare. The old one is a spare. So that's your kind of traditional reline. And you want to learn how it's done properly, look at this, go online and look. There are better videos than this. This is just to point you in the right direction, but it's pretty straightforward. To do a repair, I'm not sure how many of you have mastered green stick. Actually, it's a lot easier with the. As you can see in the top left, there's a mini burner, and to melt the green stick, and that's really good because that's direct. I used to use it like a Bunsen. Well, it was a Bunsen burner. Yeah, and yeah. So there you can also see there's some water there, so you can cool it and heat it and cool it. And then when the section has come off, it's often you see like in the tuberosity there. It's a relatively easy way to repair it, isn't it? And whether you're going to do it with a reline as well, but then as you can see there, once you've adapted it, then you just scan the whole denture, and you're not going to repair it, you're going to make a new one, and then still have a spare. Right, another complaint really is a problem is with worn dentures. So we see this a lot, and there's a limit to how much you can open up the bite. Now if you can get a bite in the mouth, like a squash bite with silicone, great. Sometimes you can't. And then you have to make an adjustment yourself, and again we can do this digitally. Maybe we'll go back to cuspless teeth. I seem to remember that some had some quite strange designs when we were looking at dentures. They weren't even teeth, but anyway, that's what you can do. And then this again is, I can't see any reason well, I know Imelda has made dentures digitally, and lots of dentists have done. They just don't talk about it. So in an ideal world, if we scan our mouths, even as we lose our teeth one by one, we'll still have some kind of registration of our occlusion. And certainly if people lose a few teeth but still have some teeth in occlusion, we can scan their whole mouth and make a partial denture. And as with all these things digitally, you can make it fit perfect and get it back on a duplicate model, or you want to play safe and make it sort of imperfect, adjust your parameters, and then fit it with a bit of fixative, because then it goes straight to fit. You get it in a single visit. So there are lots of things that we can do if we just, something slightly different, because getting to care homes, you know, it's tricky and it's expensive. The journey itself is expensive. So this is interesting, is that for those that have no teeth at all, right, then you can take an impression, scan the impression, and then record the as you'd say, the freeway space, but basically the gap between the ridges, and make a guesstimate, right? And then you can design the dentures digitally. What you find in care homes is lots of people just wear the top denture anyway, and so, you know, it may not be ideal. You may decide just to make a top denture, but there's certain ways we can try out things and do it. And yeah, the digital design, I know Exocad is like probably the market leader sheet, and I know that Imelda uses 3Shape. There are probably others out there, but that's not my forte. I don't know what is my forte, but oh yeah, and this was the odd one, was that if you see here, this is like a socket fit. Socket fit, in the way that we make 3D dentures at the moment, it's rather tricky, in that you don't get a really good scan, so you can't separate the teeth. However, so what you use then is use green stick, and then you remove the green stick digitally after you've taken the impression. So that's how you can do it if you've got a socket fit denture. Generally, if you've got a socket fit denture, you probably want to do a reline anyway, and you still need the green stick and still, you know, so get a better fit. Whether you still persevere with socket fit is another matter. And this is one that Melda did on the day. So basically, it was, you know, it was a reline of the upper and the lower, and yeah, it was a socket fit. You can see the picture of the green stick there with the impression material over it, and registering the bite. So that's, you know, so the person will end up with new dentures, and the old ones as a spare, but that's probably the ultimate of what you can do. And then you just send the scan to us, and obviously you can choose the price and what have you. And I think that's oh no, it's not the last one. And yeah, please use our website and you send us your scans, because that will help. It will just help us provide this dental health service that we all really want. And I didn't include the references, so you can look at the references here. We are certainly still stuck in, you know, the old ways. There are some materials that are still brilliant, but some materials now in this era where everything's got to be green, our digital impressions are just as good, if not better, than the traditional impressions, and obviously a lot greener because we don't make the mess, and you don't have to send them, you know, in a bag. They won't distort the digital. And yeah, I can't find any evidence between a mucocompressors and a mucostatic impression, and that's difficult enough, but from what I can remember, it's really tricky to find anyone who can do it well anyway. So let's not beat ourselves up. Let's just try and provide a service for those that need it the most. And yeah, this is just a first attempt. I'll tidy it up.